Hi, it's Bex Lewis here. I have come to Whitley Bay to meet our intrepid Digipilgrims and find out what they've been up to over the last few days. I've seen lots online, but here's a chance to ask a few more questions.
Okay, so we're on day 5, I think.
Day 5
of the Digipilgrimage. A slight delirium has clearly set in. So, how have you found today, and what kind of impact has today had on you?
Well, look, it's been a good day, hasn't it? I mean, it's been a great day. It's been a completely different day to what we've actually had for the previous 4 days, when we've had this amazing countryside we've been walking through, and we've been walking through paddocks 1 minute and walking along beaches the next, and then yesterday afternoon, and then for today, we've been walking in industrial areas.
Right. Which I suppose is part of the north-east here of England. It's much more part of its heritage and so forth. But certainly the patch of coastline that we've been treading since Lindisfarne has been really beautiful and very scenic. And it's there is a different environment here, but it's all part of the changing colours and contours of the landscape that you see when you do this kind of a trek.
I mean, you think about what we were walking through yesterday afternoon and this morning. We've been looking at kind of big industrial plants and aluminium plants and aluminium smelters and things, and we've had a lot of wind turbines and things in the last all important things, but completely different to what we've actually had in the first 4 days.
Yeah, I think being day 5, it's been physically really challenging the last couple of days. We expected day 3, day 4 probably to be the toughest. I'd say day 4 yesterday and then today. The energy levels today were a lot lower than when we set out, at least for me, and then very quickly I was sort of feeling it. We've had this bit of a joke over the first few days where when you get to you've got 1 mile of your 15 miles to go, it's kind of like, right, we need to man up now,
The man up miles.
The man up miles. Because you've got to, anyway, so the first day it was a mile, the last mile of the 15 was our man up mile. Come on, let's press on through the pain. And then the next day it was 5 miles. And then today after 2 miles, we're in the man up miles already. But so it's been tough physically, and I think it's made us reflect a bit more on, if we were doing it again, maybe we really should have scheduled in some more rest points along the way.
Yeah, definitely. And so, I mean, that leads us to why we're sitting in a pub at this particular time, because we had a big wrestle with this, and probably at some stage you'd like to ask another question, but we're just going to continue to answer the first question you asked about 25 minutes ago. But, we had a big wrestle about this whole idea of whether we should catch a bus from Blythe to where we are now, which is, where are we now? I've forgotten.
Yeah, we're
Whitley Bay.
Lost.
We're at Whitley Bay. Oh my goodness. Okay, day 5 delirium has set in. We had a big wrestle with this idea, because we already walked about 9 miles this morning, and we got to Blythe, and we kind of thought, my goodness, do we go another 9 miles on to Whitley Bay? Yeah. Or do we actually factor in some rest time this afternoon, because our feet are feeling it, particularly yours. I mean, you've had a really rough run on blisters.
Your feet have been a bit haggard.
If you were to put a number on it, do you reckon you have any idea how many blisters you've had so far?
It would be hard to know, because after a while the blisters get their own blisters, and blisters under blisters and over blisters and beside blisters, but it would be a couple of dozen by now. Yeah. But it's given me a real appreciation also for sort of champion athletes and so forth who do this kind of thing, every day, who will run 21 miles in a marathon, 22 miles in a marathon, and probably complain a whole lot less than we do. And then even, the posties who are out day to day on their feet all day, every day, delivering mail, rain, snow, hail, or shine. So I've got a new appreciation for just all of that doesn't come easily. It can hurt. And as a professional athlete, a triathlon or something like that, I think I'm certainly nowhere in that league, but I have a new appreciation for it. But also, I think even those folk, understand the need to rest as well in their training, and to pause before big events so that their bodies can recover and be at peak fitness. And I think we just hit the wall today and thought, no, we've still got 3 big days to come, and the last day is up to 18, 19 miles, which would have been what we'd done today had we pushed through. We thought we've got to keep something in the tanks for that last run home on Sunday.
So I guess I'm kind of thinking about how does that tie into what we need to learn about our own sort of capacity for what we can manage and when we need to rest, and what that kind of tells us.
Yeah, there is that temptation to think you can just set a schedule and go hard, and that we're kind of invincible. I mean, we know we aren't, but at the same time, we kind of live like we are. And I think this schedule, we knew it would be a stretch to go 8 days without a break, 15 miles a day. But we sort of thought we didn't have much choice. We knew we kind of had the reserve option of catching a bus or whatever if we needed to, but we've really not wanted to. I think when I was 18, I'd have just pushed on, you know, and done it regardless of the pain and whatever. And maybe I'd have had more energy to do it when I was 18. I was a lot fitter at that stage, certainly. But I think now you kind of got to be a bit wiser and realise there is a time for rest, and that kind of rhythm of you know, sabbatical time to recover and recuperate physically and mentally as well. It's very important.
Yeah, physically, mentally, and also spiritually. I mean, you know, yesterday morning, DJ and I had a bit of a chat about the fact that we're having a wonderful time, absolutely amazing time, and hopefully people are starting to sense a bit, you know, through the video blogs that we've been doing, that, you know, we've been getting a lot spiritually out of this as well.
Yeah.
At the same time, there hasn't been a lot of reflection time and a lot of really kind of sitting down and thinking and reflecting time and things. We've been starting the day off with like a little devotion between ourselves. We've been prayer time. We've been handing the day over to God, and we've been learning things. We've been talking. We've learned a lot through our conversations and things. But we decided yesterday morning that midday yesterday we would actually find a place to actually probably just sit down and have 40 minutes, an hour or so of just stop time, thinking, reflecting time. It didn't work out in the end, just with the way that the day went. You can have your plans, doesn't always work, simply because we couldn't find the right place to stop. All there was an ice cream store, not a pub or anything to actually, you know, sit down and have some extended time in. But we had already decided we actually started to need to build back into this whole pilgrimage some rest time. So whether it's daily rest to actually reflect on the day, because by the end of the day you are so exhausted it's hard to, and journal time's pretty important for me personally, or indeed like this afternoon, actually a whole afternoon where you just rest up so your body can actually get ready for the next day.